Hello and welcome to BSG News for Thursday, March 17th, 2022. It's been a while since I've made one of these videos or done one of these streams where I'm actually talking about some news stories, and I really wanted to get back into doing that. So we're going to jump right into the first story, which is that Reggie Fils-Aime recently did an interview with Bloomberg, and unfortunately I don't have a subscription to Bloomberg, so I have to read it in other places. Lurking while I work on my real estate course. No problem, Nita. Thanks for the lurk. I appreciate you being here. All right, so let's get into this story. So, former Nintendo America president left GameStop's board because leadership refused to explain how they would turn the company around. Now, just a little bit of backstory. You can actually find a video in my on my YouTube channel. Actually, I don't remember if it might have been a different YouTube channel. I think it's Big Slice Games. I don't remember the actual name of it. Anyway, if you search the Big Slice Games cast, I think we talked about it on there back when a friend of mine and me were both doing a podcast, and we talked about this a little bit back when he actually joined the board. And he left shortly after, and it was never really explained why until this story came out. Former head of Nintendo of America, Reggie Fils-Aime, stepped down from GameStop's board of directors because the company leaders would not share their vision, he said at a South by Southwest event in Austin, Texas on Saturday. There's not been an articulated strategy, he told Bloomberg's Emily Chang. Leadership says we don't want to articulate our strategy because they don't want it to be stolen. To me, that was not acceptable. During the gaming retailer's annual shareholders meeting in June 2021, Chairman Ryan Cohen said something similar. You won't find us talking a big game, making a bunch of lofty promises, or telegraphing our strategy to the competition, Cohen told investors in June 2021. We know some people want us to lay out a whole detailed plan today, but that's not going to happen. First off, let's back up, because that's your fucking board. Am I not correct there? At a shareholders meeting. We know some people want us to lay out a whole detailed plan today, but that's not going to happen. How exactly does that instill confidence that you have an actual plan? Like, shareholder meetings are usually under NDA. I'm pretty sure. I don't actually know. Don't quote me on that. I guess it would depend on the company and how they want to do shareholder meetings, but either way, Fils-Aime stepped down from the company's board in 2021 after serving a period of roughly 1 year. He also told the conference GameStop leadership rebuffed his ideas. Representatives for Ryan Cohen and GameStop did not immediately respond to requests. GameStop has otherwise laid out broad plans to transform from a brick-and-mortar retailer to an e-commerce focused company, the so-called Amazon of gaming, and announced an NFT marketplace. Its stock price still reflects the Reddit-driven boom that recapitalized the ailing retailer to the tune of $551 million, but has been trailing downward in recent months. Reggie Fils-Aime served as the president and CEO of Nintendo of America. He was the president of Nintendo of America pretty much through, I think, from the launch of the Wii all the way through pretty much the launch of the Switch, and then shortly after stepped down. But he was there for a solid, 10 years or something. We love Reggie. But him stepping down from the board was kind of shocking. I guess it wasn't super shocking, but it was a little bit alarming, in the sense of like, okay, well, what does that mean for GameStop? Because when someone like Reggie steps down, like, without like, there's a GameSpot article that goes into a little bit more detail from Eddie McCouch. Eddie McCouch? Is that how you pronounce his name? But let me move over there. Let's see. This is a little bit longer, but it does go into a little... What did I write? It goes more into why he joined in the first place and more details on why he left. Where does it say? Here we go. So this is what he said. I believed that the company could be successful. I believed that with taking the right action, that certainly the company would exist in time for the launch of the new systems. And a company that services the core gaming audience the way they do, would be able to have a successful future. Fils-Aime said GameStop needed to pivot in a number of ways, including ramping up its e-commerce portfolio and services and generally finding ways to better satisfy its customer base. The PS5 and Series X released in November 2020, and GameStop remained solvent. As Fils-Aime said, the retailer was able to maximize its riches from those systems and the more profit-driving games sold for them. At this time, billionaire business entrepreneur Ryan Cohen, the founder of online pet food company Chewy, had assumed control of GameStop. Which to me sounded really good because Chewy, I think Chewy is like the subscription service for... Oh no, it's a pet food company. Either way, it's a successful company, so it's like, well, someone who has a successful company under their belt probably would be pretty good for their business, right? You would think. But anyway, had assumed control of GameStop. Fils-Aime said Cohen pushed for, quote, more aggressive change at GameStop. What's more, Fils-Aime said GameStop's board of directors had already gone through a number of bruising fights with shareholders, and management didn't want to go through that again. As for why Fils-Aime eventually left GameStop's board of directors, he said it came down to Cohen and other management not wanting to listen to his advice, despite Fils-Aime being an industry veteran and one of the most experienced business executives in gaming on the planet. And he says, the issue was that as the strategy was beginning to be developed, I asked to be part of the team to develop the strategy. I knew the business. I knew it as a consumer. I knew it as a vendor. I had pretty strong opinions on how the business needed to be pivoted, but I was rebuffed. The perspective was, Reggie, we want to keep the team small, so it's going to be myself and a few of the people I brought on board. Fils-Aime flat out said Cohen and the team around him don't know this business, don't understand the players. When Fils-Aime was denied a spot on the strategy team for GameStop's path forward, he took this as a sign it was time to go. I took that as a code for thank you, but we really don't want any other ideas. For me, that was not acceptable. There has not been an articulated strategy. Leadership says, well, we don't want to articulate our strategy because we don't want anyone to steal our strategy. That reminds me of someone. Wasn't it like... It's like an episode of The Office or something. Let me see if I can find it. It's Will Arnett shows up as a cameo when they're hiring a new branch manager or something. And his whole interview is about how he has these ideas for a better business. And then names like 2 steps that have 0 context and then says if they want the rest of the plan, they need to hire him. But very clearly does not have a plan. And it literally sounds like leadership at for GameStop's board of directors is doing that. Like it's really dumb. And it's like you bring on someone as experienced and highly regarded as Reggie Fils-Aime, the president of Nintendo of America for the last decade during Nintendo's most successful years outside of the Wii U. The Wii U didn't do so hot, but the Wii did, and so did the Switch. The fact that you're not going to, if you have a strategy, like you say, not talk about that strategy to your board of directors, including Reggie Fils-Aime. You don't have a fucking plan. Instead, you're just gonna get into the fucking metaverse and NFTs. Which, where do they talk about that? Is that in the older? Hold on, was that back in here? Maybe it wasn't. Either way, GameStop is now getting into the NFTs and shit. Wait, where was it? To this day, the current GameStop management has not articulated its strategy for success in the future, and Fils-Aime didn't want to stick around to see how it all played out. There's not been an articulated strategy, yada yada. We read that. Articulating a business strategy is critical, Fils-Aime said, saying management needed to have briefed its business partners, vendors, employees, and shareholders, but it never did and apparently still hasn't. Fils-Aime ended his comments by saying this is a marked change from the other boards he sits on, including Brunswick Corp, which makes very fancy boats, and the toy company Spin Master. GameSpot has followed up with GameStop in an attempt to get more details on Fils-Aime's exit from the board of directors. Additionally, Fils-Aime used his speech to criticize Facebook's plans for the metaverse. The Reginator has also added author to his... Wait, what? Has also added author to his resume as his new book that charts his rise from the Bronx to the top of Nintendo, Disrupting the Game, will be out in May. Oh, shit! Oh, I'm definitely adding that to my reading list. I didn't know that. I guess I should have read to the actual end of the article. Did I read? I had to have read that part. Maybe I didn't. Alright, whatever. Well, I did now. But either way, like, the fact that they still haven't articulated any real strategy to their investors, to their board, to their vendors, like, do you have a strategy? Do you actually have a strategy? Like, come on, GameSpot, or not GameSpot, GameStop. Like, come the fuck on. You don't have a strategy. Like, if you have a strategy and literally have not articulated it to all of your business partners, and it's been over a year, like, what are you doing? How much of a mess is it behind the scenes? Sounds super sketch to me. It is exactly that, and how he has a 3-step plan, and he doesn't want them taking a strategy and then not hire him. I just watched the episode this past weekend. Yeah. Or when Michael Scott tells the shareholders during the huge meeting that sent a limo to him for that they have a 90-day plan and expected David Wallace and the other guys to come up with something. They had 45 minutes to come up with something. I miss The Office. I haven't watched that in a while. But yeah, it's just, it sounds really frustrating to be a shareholder for GameStop because, good lord, man. And then they get into NFTs of all things. Like, ugh. Shit sucks. All right, let's see here. I think I had another story I wanted to talk about, but I forgot what it was. I do have a story about Twitch, but there was something that I saw today that I didn't read yet. So I want to save that until I read into that a little bit more. Good lord, excuse me. Let's see. Oh, here's one. So I had predicted, like, I don't know, like a few years ago, I think, that Google Stadia probably wasn't going to last long based on its launch. And at least as a consumer product. I did not specify that though, but I'm pretty sure at some point on social media that I predicted that Stadia wouldn't be around in 5 years. I don't know how long ago that was, but let's see. So the story here is, oh, just lost the page. There we go. This is from Ars Technica. This is Ron Amadeo. Stadia's pivot to a Google Cloud product is official. Stadia's rumored pivot to a Google Cloud service is real. At the Google for Games Developer Summit Tuesday, Google announced that the technology underpinning Stadia will be available for sale as a Google Cloud service called Immersive Stream for Games. That's nowhere near as catchy as the Google Stream name that was rumored, but Google Cloud services aren't consumer-facing anyway. The company confirmed AT&T was one of the first to trial Immersive Stream for Games last year when it launched Batman Arkham Knight as a free streaming game for AT&T mobile subscribers. AT&T owns Batman via DC Comics. I thought Warner Bros. Did. Or are they owned by Warner Media? I don't remember. I might be thinking of the games right. No, because that's still... Whatever, that's not important right now. Despite giving the game out to mobile subscribers, you aren't actually supposed to play Batman over your cellular connection just yet. It only works on PCs, not smartphones. During the keynote, AT&T said it would soon enable playback on a smartphone for the Stadia-powered game. This technology paired with the AT&T network gives us the ability to deliver games directly to consumer, AT&T Vice President of 5G Product and Innovation, Jay Carey, said during the keynote. We're preparing for the launch of our next title on the immersive streaming platform soon. ISPs like AT&T have an incentive to push cloud gaming since it uses a ton of data and makes users reliant on ISPs for quality access. AT&T does not zero rate its own services anymore, so the Stadia game will be an easy way to make your cellular bill skyrocket or quickly exhaust your unthrottled data allocation. Carey mentioned that thousands of AT&T customers have tried the Stadia-powered game so far. Batman gives us a preview of what Immersive Stream for Games looks like. There is zero integration with the consumer-level Stadia service and no Google branding at all. Figuring out that Stadia is powering Immersive Stream involves spying on what web servers it is connecting to. Just like how it's not obvious that big portions of Apple's iCloud are powered by Google Cloud, no one will know that your game is powered by Stadia. Google has a sign-up form for any interested developers. Stadia's pivot to cloud gaming was definitely not part of the original plan. Stadia is a failing service that dramatically undershot Google's sales estimates, and many of Google's promises made 3 years ago at Stadia's unveiling have not come true. Pitching Stadia as a Google Cloud service for other businesses is definitely a plan B and somewhat of a soft shutdown for the consumer service. The Business Insider report that broke the news of Stadia's Google Cloud transition said the consumer platform was being deprioritized and that only about 20% of the Stadia team's focus was still on Stadia, the consumer platform. I don't think we need to go into the rest of this stuff. The gist of it is that Stadia was the sort of consumer-facing product that was unveiled, I don't know, 3 years ago or something. And I had predicted that it probably wouldn't last that long. However, at least from what I could see, or from what I've read and what I've heard, is that the technology for Google Stadia is pretty good. As long as you have a decent internet connection, it works really well. The problem, I think, was it wasn't a great service. So even though the cloud, like the actual streaming tech worked pretty well, the service didn't. There weren't a ton of games on board with it. They had nothing substantial for first party. In fact, they did have some internal studios working on first party games, but they left. And I forget the full story, but I know Jade Raymond, who used to work for Ubisoft and a couple other places I can't think of off the top of my head, created Haven Studios after she left Google Stadia. Is that Jade Raymond? Hold on. Canadian video game creator best known for here, I'll show you what I'm looking at. Jade Raymond is a Canadian video game creator best known for helping create Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs, building the Ubisoft Toronto and EA Motive. Oh, geez, she's got quite the track record. Announced the founding of a new independent development team called Haven. Am I not thinking of the right person? I could have. Yeah. Oh, this is her Twitter. Am I following her? I am. Okay. Having worked in a video game, Raymond joined Google in March 2019 to help enter the race toward a state of the... Yeah, so she did join Google Stadia, the Stadia team, to build up first-party stuff. And having created huge franchises for Ubisoft, including opening one of its studios and an EA studio, both of whom are still around. Like, that's quite the resume of building teams from the ground up. But anyway, yeah, what did I miss? Just talking about what did we just talk about? Oh, we talked about Reggie Fils-Aime leaving GameStop's board, and then a little bit about Stadia's pivot to a Google Cloud product instead of a consumer-facing one. I think that's probably a good place to end to end news stuff, though, because the rest of this stuff, there is a Twitch thing that I want to talk about, but there's other stuff about that I haven't read yet. Oh, 1 second. To add a little bit more to the Reggie Fils-Aime thing, there is this. Reggie Fils-Aime skeptical about Meta's metaverse. This is more of Reggie's interview from above. Talks about his views about Facebook's lack of an innovative culture, more about the above topic, and his thoughts on the metaverse and VR versus AR. Definitely check that out. I'll have a link in the description on the YouTube video. That's going to go up later on tonight. If you're watching this on YouTube, obviously it's in the description right now. So that's Reggie Fils-Aime skeptical about Meta's metaverse. But yeah, we'll wrap up news there. So, whoops. Yeah, I added a thing. If you're watching this on YouTube later, thank you so much for watching. If you want to watch me live, you can find me at twitch.tv/BigSliceGaming. Or you can browse some of the other videos that I have here on the channel. And thank you guys so much for watching.